Barbara Wardell, and we're from Calarian Wardell. And we are doing a follow up of Lee and Matt in the Philippine, the street kids in the Philippines.
Yes, so my mom, Lisai, or Lee, is a missionary in the Philippines, and along with her husband, Matt. And we played a recent video. Well, we did a recent broadcast when my mom was visiting from the Philippines, and we had her here. We are very fortunate to talk to her about their goals with the mission and their present projects that they have going on. Um, so a little backstory. I forget how many years my mom said she's been a missionary in the Philippines. Do you remember, Barbara?
I think it was a total of 18 years that she was for missionary between Mexico and the Philippines.
Right.
I believe that was what she
Yeah,
said, had said.
it's definitely been more than a decade that she's been a missionary in the Philippines, and it's been tough, to be honest with you. They get a little support from the churches, from a church that sent them, and that's Redeemer Fellowship in Tom's River. And that church has been great. That's their home church. Riverside Church in Nutley has supported them from time to time, and my mom, who has Social Security, has has been supporting a lot of their daily needs. And me and my brothers have put together some fundraisers along with Pastor Bill Devlin and a silent supporter of the orphanage has been Josh Jelinski, which you might know as the financial quarterback. He had the number one show on 710 WOR on the weekends in New York. And he is the author of, I should know the name of the book, but it's darn it, I forget the name of his book. I only talked about it for a full year when I produced a show on 710. But anyway, a silent donor is Josh Jelinski, who's no longer silent, and he's going to make a special announcement today, and we'll save that for him.
Everybody, I'm Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback, and I've known Matt and Lee Dwinells for, I don't know, 20 plus years, ever since I was a youth pastoral intern at Trinity Fellowship Church. You may know me as the financial quarterback host on WOR AM and also our podcast, the Financial Quarterback Podcast. And during the week, I manage money. But 22 years ago, I volunteered my time to help kids. And I helped kids in youth ministry. And Matt and Lee took me in. They would feed me on a Sunday. And they were just caring, loving people, had a heart for service. Matt used his gifts to bless kids. And Lee was always a very prayerful woman, praying for healing of my kids when they were sick. Matt and Lee are godly people who love the Lord and they love kids. And they basically gave up everything in their retirement to fly to the Philippines, not to retire on some beach, but to help kids who are orphans. And you may not know them personally, but I can vouch for their character and integrity. And that each dollar you give, when you give to them, we're doing a whole Easter special, Easter Resurrection Sunday special, where every dollar that goes to Street Kids PM, Street Kids Philippine Mission, will be gifted and will be doubled. So there'll be matching gift up to $10,000. So whatever you can give, even if it's $100, $50, $5, $500, the widows might, God will honor it. But what I love about these people is I know them. I've known them for 20 plus years. They're not, wasting funds. Every gift you give goes directly to the kids. And this isn't like, one of those save the world commercials or, we are the world commercials. These are people who gave up everything and they're a blessing to others. So if you can find it in your heart to give this Easter Resurrection Sunday, give to Matt and Lee Dwinells and keep them in the Philippines. You know what? It's sad when missionaries have to come home because people don't give. And when I was in ministry as a youth pastor, as a kid, I was like 22, 21, they had me over. they were generous then. And I'm asking you to be generous with the Lord. And even if you don't know the Lord, what in an era where people are like, well, what do these people do with my money? I know and can attest that every gift you give is going to go to the work of helping kids who don't have parents in the Philippines, kids who need a place to live, orphans get the help that they need to thrive. I'm Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback, and make sure you find it in your heart to give.
Hello. I invited my friend Jezebel over. She was with the orphanage with us she lived with us along with her sisters for almost from the beginning. We started talking a little bit, and we found some things have been uncovered and parts of our hearts. So if there's a little bit of crying, yeah, be patient. It's not tears of sorrow. It's tears of joy and just the emotions. So tell me a little bit, Jezebel. How did you happen to come to the orphanage?
My sister Jessalyn invited us to come over to the church because there was a feeding program. Then we meet Pastor Ibu there, and when we were there, he was introducing us to you and Daddy Matthew.
Right. And then the thing that got us in a little bit of trouble is what I asked you, because most of the kids, when they came because they wanted to go to school. So you had a little different motive, and would you share that with us? It's okay.
For me personally, I don't came here to school, but seeking a love.
So you came seeking love, and that's quite an unexpected. That's quite an unexpected answer to hear from you. So, and yet at the same time, it just touches my heart. So what was it like? You had a lot of disappointments. There were a lot of conflicts, a lot of up and downs. What were some of the challenges that you faced?
A lot because one.
So we took a little break. It's something though about women when we form a close bond, and I think that's why I asked you most to come, because there's a special bond between us. And so you were sharing some of the difficulties of living in the orphanage.
Yeah.
What kind of struggles did you have?
Different personalities, different attitude.
Yeah, there was a lot of attitude.
Yeah.
There was, I remember. Yeah, and then, so at the time you said you were 10 years old when you came.
Mm.
And what grade were you in? Third grade?
Yeah.
Third grade. So you were right about one of the few actually that were right on time for your age, or maybe a little bit off, because most children are 9 years old when they come. So so go ahead. Tell us a little bit. What did you appreciate about living in the orphanage or living with us?
First, I want to say I am very thankful to God, because even though that you are not our biological parents, but you give us love and a lot of things that our parents cannot fulfill.
Mm-hmm.
But we are really, I am very thankful for that, even though there's a lot of
Emotion and turmoil
Yeah.
in there. Yeah, I remember. It's girls and moms and daughters. They have their conflicts. So you left us for a while,
yes.
and while you were gone, you did some amazing things. You put yourself through school. You want to tell us about that? That was very admirable. How difficult was that? What did it look like?
It was difficult to like you need to work
Mm-hmm.
to pay your to pay your school, to pay a lot of projects
And
like that. But for me, it was also a blessing to learn, and I was appreciating all of those. I'm not blaming someone. I was I want to be like dependent enough
mm-hmm.
to myself to do those things, to do experience.
So what kind of businesses did you do?
I in the school I sell some banana queue,
Mm-hmm.
mango float,
Okay.
ice candy. Then I
For a time you sold shampoos and cleaners, right? And
I do some I do some products to sell. And also I was an active member in Avon.
Avon. Okay.
Yeah.
So what year did you graduate?
I graduate last year.
Oh, just last year.
Yeah,
Not 2 years ago?
not 2 years ago. Last year because I stopped.
Okay. You stopped? You didn't graduate 12th grade?
I already graduated 12th.
Oh, you mean you didn't go on to college?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about. We might have to do this part again, but tell us about what does your life look like right now? You're married, and
I can say that I am very blessed to have a small family, like to handle the like as a mother.
okay.
A lot of adjustment,
Right.
but I'm very happy that I have a small family because they are like a source of strength.
Yeah.
And God, I see that God really bless me because there's people that truly loves me.
Oh, yeah. And you've been blessed in very many ways. You're working for the church. You have your own house. Was that a gift from the church, or how did that come about? Hard work, or?
That property that we have today, it was unexpected blessing because the pastor that we have now, they trusted us. Yeah, then they just put our names in the property.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cannot. We
Could
just
not
want,
imagine, right?
Yeah, we just want to serve God,
Right.
to be faithful in church, to be a blessing to other people.
Okay, so we might be a little bit over time, but let's try and fit this in. If you could give one encouragement to somebody that might be on the same road as you, how would you encourage them?
I encourage them to keep serving God.
Keep serving.
Yeah, be faithful to your pastor, to God, because even though in your rough time or difficult time in your life, you can see amazing things that God can do to your life, and they just use other people to be a blessing to your life.
Yeah, so we thank God for you, and we thank you for the relationship. Give me a hug. I love you.
Thank you.
Wow, what a powerful testimony from Jezebel. Each of the kids that come to the orphanage have their own story. Some were all of them were totally destitute. These are literal street kids. So sometimes, like in Jezebel's case, the family's like, hey, we can't help you. We can't support you. We can't feed you. So we're going to bring you to this orphanage. And Jezebel is just one of the many success stories. Over the last more than a decade, we've had 50 kids come through Street Kids Philippine missions. And with that comes a lot of happy stories, some heartbreak. But no matter what, your people like you and your generosity will enable Matt and Lee to help future generations to help themselves. And as you can see, Jezebel really is helping herself. She's a success story. She's married. She was able to finish school. She has a job. She has a home. And this is someone who, for years, up until the age of 10 or whenever she came to the orphanage, she went to bed hungry every day. She likely lived by eating out of a garbage can. She would beg strangers for money. She was at risk for sexual exploitation and trafficking. And as you could see, God was good to her. Our Street Kids Philippine missions was good to her, but we can't do it without people like you. So we hope as you see the videos that come out over the next couple days, you'll be inspired to help and you'll partner with us and bring Street Kids Philippine missions and the mission of Matt and Lee into another decade or two of helping people change their lives. So thanks very much and stay tuned.